Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to crochet this bag and this flower. However, this is dyed afterwards, so this isn't a tutorial on how to dye the piece. It's only a tutorial on how to crochet it. And to make this, you will need 200 grams of double knit yarn. I have superwash merino wool here. Then you will need 2 stitch markers, scissors, a 4mm hook and needle, as well as tape measure or a ruler. To start off, you want to make a slip knot. Put your hook in, tighten it up, and chain 55. To chain, you yarn over and pull it through the loop on your hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, and so on until you have 55. Once you have your chain, you're gonna skip the very first one here, go into second, yarn over, come back, yarn over, pull through 2, and we'll do single crochet. And that's your first single crochet. Now you're gonna go into all of those chains, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and do single crochet. So repeat this in all chains and you will have 54 at the end. Once you've finished your first row, chain 1 at the end and turn your work. This is what you're gonna do at the end of every single row. So now for the second row, you're just gonna repeat the same thing, doing single crochets in every single stitch. So go into the very first one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and repeat in all stitches. Once you reach the end, you're gonna again chain 1 and turn, and you will repeat this row until you have 46 rows in total. Once you've finished your 46 rows, we're gonna single crochet around the side, then down the bottom and along the other side, stopping right here. So along 3 sides basically. So grab your work, you should have chained 1 at the end here. And I'm gonna place 1 single crochet for each row. So I'm gonna go into this spot here and then this one, meaning I'm gonna place 1 single crochet for each row. So that's gonna be again 46 stitches, same number as number of rows I have. To do that, you just go in and do a single crochet. When you reach the bottom, you're just gonna go into the bottom part of the chain. So I'm just gonna find my first one, through both loops, pull up a loop and do single crochet. Again into the next one, single crochet and repeat. It's gonna look quite loose here. That is because we are going into the bottom of the chain. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. And it should be 54 stitches for this bottom because you do have 54 stitches all together. So I'm just gonna crochet along this side as well as the other one and I will meet you there. Once you finish crocheting along those 3 sides, you should find this corner single crochet, go in and do a slip stitch to kind of join in a round. Chain 1, and when you do make your second one, because you will need to do the same exact piece again, do not finish off as we will be joining these together, and for this one you can just cut it off and start your second one. And once you've got your second piece, you want to put them both right sides in so that you have wrong sides out, just like so. And again, we are going to join them along those 3 sides, leaving the top opened. I'm gonna use slip stitches to join it together, and I'm gonna be going into the inside loops. Let me grab my needle. Basically, I'm gonna go through this inner loop and into this one. So I'm leaving those that are on the outside untouched. And if you look into your work from the right side, it's actually the front loops I am going, so the back loops remain untouched. Now just to start, I'm gonna find my first one, going into this inner loop here and then into this one, grabbing my yarn and pulling through to do a slip stitch. Again into the next one, always through the inner loops, pull up a loop and do a slip stitch. This is what you will repeat across those 3 sides. Once you finish joining, just chain 1 and finish off with a bit of a tail. Pull it through, tighten it up. Now you want to grab your 2 stitch markers and a ruler or tape measure. You want to grab your bag and kind of fold it like this. So once you do have it all joined and flat, you want to grab the 2 panels, so your front and back, and kind of just fold it in half so the seam is this way. And then you want to fold in this corner like so. And now once you've got your corner tucked in, you want to grab a ruler and from this bottom here measure about 2 inches. This is where I went because it's gonna be easier for me to keep straight line while I sew. So instead of going somewhere else, I chose those 8 rows or so, and I did the same on the other side. Then you want to grab your yarn and needle. I have about 1 meter or so of a tail, and before you go in to sew, you want to make sure that this seam together with the other one is right on top of each other, so when it's sewn and you turn it inside out, that those 2 are aligned like this. But once you're ready, just basically put your needle where your stitch marker is, pull it through, leaving a bit of a tail, and go once more to secure it in like this. And now you're gonna sew straight across until you reach the other stitch marker, and I'm just gonna go from above down into here. I'm just gonna remove the stitch marker because I don't need it anymore, and then I'm gonna go all the way down. Then I'm gonna go from underneath and pull it through again from the top to the bottom like this, and I'm gonna go into those small stitches to make sure that everything is sewn. You can do a couple of stitches at the same time as well. Again, just like that, sew it across until you reach your next stitch marker. Once you finish and you are at the end, you want to go the opposite way, so basically making a loop and securing this very end of our joining. Let me just pull it through just like so, and just to make sure that it is secure, I'm gonna go back and sew it one more time so it's gonna be stronger, but let me show you how it looks so far. Now if you tuck it back in to the right side, this is how it should look. So this seam is aligned with the other side, and once our other corner is also done, this is how it's gonna look. So it's giving a bit of more dimension to the bag. It's gonna be, you know, not just flat but also have sides and the base. So let me just sew it one more time to make sure that it's strong, and I will come back at the end. And I'm done sewing it one more time. I'm just gonna go and hide this tail, and what I like to do is basically just go under those single crochets one way, pull it through, then go back the other way as well. So same way, under those single crochets, pull it through, and I'm gonna repeat this a couple of times. So again, going the opposite way, and again back the same way. So I think that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna cut it off, and then repeat the same for this corner as well. So don't forget it, you're not sewing this way, you're actually grabbing your corner with the seam in the middle like this. Do the same thing, measure and sew a couple of times. I'm gonna do that as well, and I'll see you then. And I now finished my second corner, and I also hidden all of the tails. I'm just gonna flip it inside out to the right side, and you should be able to see this bottom here. It kind of is shaped in the way boxes are or paper bags. If you look at the bottom of it from above, it looks something like this with those corners in here. Now I finished one handle here because they're both alike, so I'm gonna show you how to do this on the other one. But basically the reason why I'm doing two separate handles and having them joined at the top here is because I prefer to have the seam here rather than on the side. So when you start your row, it looks all nice and neat here, and it's only the little seam in the middle. But if you were to do your handle in one go, it would be joined here and it doesn't look that nice, so I just prefer it that way. Now to do the handle, you want to grab your side and count 6 stitches from where you have this joining. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm gonna go into that one, join my yarn, chain 1 to secure, and I'm gonna place 6 single crochets in the next 6 stitches, so 1 in each. You can also have your tail over your hook like this when you go and do your stitches, so you can straight away hide it in. And that's my 6th one. Now in this joining here, I'm gonna place 2 single crochets. So go ahead, make 1 single crochet and then another one, just to kind of fill in the gap. And then you're gonna place another 6 single crochets along this other side. And you should have 14 stitches for your very first row. At the end, chain 1, turn your work. Now for your second row, go into the first stitch and make single crochet. Then into the next 2 decrease, go in, pull up a loop, again go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. You just decreased by 1, and then continue single crocheting until you have 3 stitches left. Once you reach your 3 stitches, do decrease in the next 2 and single crochet in the very last one. Chain 1, and for row 3 you're just gonna go and do single crochet in every single stitch, which should be 12 now because we decreased 2 times. At the end, chain 1, turn your work, and this row is gonna be with the creases again, so on even numbers like 2, 4, 6 and so on, you are doing the crease. So again, just to show you one more time, single crochet in the first one, the crease, again single crochet until you reach your last 3 stitches, do the crease, don't mind him standing here, and do single crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work, and you're gonna repeat those 2 rows until you have 6 stitches. So let me do mine and I will meet you then. I have 6 stitches here, that's 8 rows in total, and I'm just gonna single crochet 6 for the next 35 rows, but you can do as many as you want depending on how long you want your handle to be. So yeah, do your rows, and I will meet you on how to join these 2 together, because you will have to repeat this for your second handle as well. Now, once you finished your handle and your second handle, you don't want to finish off the yarn on the second one because we will join them together. So grab them right sides in, just like that. And we're gonna do the same exact thing by going into the inside loops. So through the back loop of your first handle and through the front, like so. So those are the inner ones. Pull through, do slip stitch, and repeat in all 6 stitches. Chain 1 at the end, cut it off, leaving some tail, pull it through, and then you're gonna hide the tail. So I'm just securing the very end of this handle by doing a few stitches. And you want to hide your tail in. So I'm doing the same exact thing as before. I'm just gonna go under some single crochets in one way and then back the other. Cut it off. And that's the bag part done. Now I would highly suggest to add in lining because that's definitely gonna make it stronger and more structured. I did put some stuff in it, so it looks already so much better with some stuff in it. But yeah, I'm gonna still add lining either way. Now to make the flower, it's made out of 5 identical pieces, basically 5 petals. So I'm going to show you one and you will need to make 5 in total. You want to grab your yarn, make a slip knot and chain 13. Then starting into second chain from your hook, go in, make single crochet, into the next one another single crochet, in the next one 2 single crochets all in one stitch, in the next one half double crochet, in the next one 2 half double crochets both in the same stitch, and the next one 2 double crochets, again both into the same stitch, again in the next one 2 double crochets both in the same stitch, And the next one, 2 treble crochets. And the next one, 3 treble crochets, all 3 in one chain. So that's 3, and now you have 3 chains left. Same thing, 3 trebles in each, so 9 trebles in total, 3 in each. So that's my 3 done. Into the next chain, again 3 trebles. And then in the last one, again 3 trebles. Pull tight on your tail to tighten it up, and now we will be working into the opposite side of this chain. So you want to skip this one that we just went and go into the second one and do 3 trebles. They all go in that same stitch. So that's 3 done. Into the next one again, 3 trebles, all in one stitch. And one more time, 3 trebles into the next. Into the next one, 2 trebles. In the next one, 2 double crochets. And then one more time into the next one, 2 double crochets. In the next, 2 half double crochets, both in that same stitch. In the next one, 1 half double crochet. In next, 2 single crochets. Again, another one. And in next, 1 single crochet. And another single crochet in the very last one, like this. It's gonna look messy because it is a lot of increases, as you can see, but that's what we want. We kind of want a messy petal. Now, once you've finished your first round, you want to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, chain 3, and slip stitch into the next stitch. So this is where we just slip stitched, and we're gonna go into the next one. again chain 3 and slip stitch into the next stitch. This is what you will repeat until you reach your first treble. So you're gonna continue until the last double, and once you reach the treble, I'm gonna show you what to do. So I'm just gonna repeat this chain of 3 slip stitch until I reach my treble, and I'm now in my last double crochet, about to go into the treble. I have 10 chain 3 spaces, or those loops, but from here you're gonna chain 5 and do the same thing by going into the next stitch and doing a slip stitch. So from your first treble, you're gonna do chain of 5 and slip stitch all around until you come to the treble on this side, and then from here, from the double crochet, it's again chain 3 slip stitch. So I'm just gonna do my chain 5 slip stitch until I do this in all the trebles, and I will meet you then. I am now done with my chains of 5 because I reached my last treble, and I have 27 of those chain 5s. So I need to make 10 more of chain 3s, same as on the other side. So yeah, just chain 3, do a slip stitch into your next stitch, and repeat this until you have 10 or until you reach this top here. Once you're done, just go into your first chain 3 space, pull up a loop and do a slip stitch, chain 1 to secure, and you want to cut a bit of a tail off, pull it through, and we will be using this for sewing later. As of this tail that I have here, I'm gonna cut it off because I did hide it in under my stitches all the way from this last chain until here, so I think that's good. If you haven't, go ahead and hide that one, but keep this one still on. Now once you make all 5 of those, this is gonna be the flower top where it narrows down, and this is gonna be the bottom. And you will need some yarn, same one that you used to make this, and needle, so you can sew all 5 together. And what I did is I basically pushed in the middle here to shape into this kind of center here. So yeah, just basically this is the right side up. I'm just pushing it this way and sewing it together. Then I'm grabbing second petal and so on all around. So this becomes my flower center. And I'm not going to show you how to join all 5 of them because it is messy. I'm trying to hold them all together and sew, so you wouldn't be able to understand anything at all, but I'm going to show you with one. Now this is what I have so far. So I joined my 4 petals here. It looks a bit messy because of all those tails, but I promise you once it's on your back it's gonna look fine. And I have space right here for my 5th petal, and this is my tail that I have from the flower itself. So at some point you're gonna start with some tail also and be joining them. So I'm using the same one for all 5 of them, and I'm just joining one at a time. Now this is my last one. I'm just gonna try and squeeze this in. This is gonna be my center piece that is gonna go together with all of those, just like that. There's not really a way to do it, but just, you know, try your best and make it as secure as you can. So I'm just going straight into this last petal of mine, and I'm just gonna sew it here. Don't be afraid to go through all of them. It's just gonna reinforce all 5 petals if you do sew them all together. And I hope this does make sense because it is quite tricky. And now I'm just gonna go to the wrong side. And I will do a couple of stitches on this wrong side again, just to make sure it's strong enough. And this is where I'm gonna leave it off. So those 5 tails that are at the top of the flower, I'm gonna use to join the petals to the bag itself. And this tail I'm not finishing off because I'm gonna sew it to the center of my bag. So this is how it looks so far. It's gonna make a bit more sense once it's sewn. Now I have dyed my pieces, but I'm back to show you how to sew it on top. I'm gonna start with the center, so I just grabbed the tail from the center with my needle. And before you do this, you want to kind of put your flower where you want that to sit. So it's gonna be right about here for me. I'm gonna use a stitch marker and attach it where I want to sew, so that it's easier for me to do that. So I'm just going through the bag and through the flower. Safety pin might work a bit better, but stitch marker will do. Again, I'm just gonna double check if it's still where I wanted. And using that tail, I'm gonna just go in and sew. So straight through the bag, like this, and then back into the bag and into the flower too. And you kind of want to try and make it as invisible as you can. So go not too far away from where your tail has come out and go back. And with each stitch you make sure it's still not coming through the flower. So I'm just gonna repeat these steps, going in stitch by stitch like that until it's secure enough. Now my center is joined. As far as I can tell, it doesn't come out on this side, and this is how it looks from the wrong side. So I did quite a few stitches. It does feel secure, so I'm happy with it. And I'm now gonna go from the bag into the flower, but only into the wrong side of the flower to hide the tail in. Like this, and I'm gonna do some stitches like this to weave in the tail. Again, you don't want this to show on your right side, so keep checking if it doesn't and repeat this a couple of times. I'm gonna move now to the next petal. And I think that's gonna be secure enough. And once the center is joined, you will need to join and sew all 5 petals on top of the bag as well. What I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna make a couple of stitches in one place just to make sure that petal is attached and it doesn't move. And I'm gonna leave the rest out because I want the flower to still have some movement. So I'm not gonna be sewing it straight flat like this. I'm just gonna make a couple of stitches just to attach it in place, but for it to still have some movement. For me to do that, because I'm not going to be joining the very top of the flower, I'm just going to make my way with the tail to about here, so like 2 centimeters down the petal. And again, I'm gonna use the stitch marker to secure it in place, making sure that it's gonna sit nice with the rest of the petals, and then I can just go in and pin it. And then I'm gonna go to the wrong side of the bag. And from the back side to the front of the flower, trying to go in between the stitches. And I'm gonna go straight across to the other side of the chain, if you can see, in between the stitches as well. I think that's gonna be the least visible. Once it's pulled tight, you barely can tell that there's something in there. So yeah, I'm gonna repeat this a couple of times, going down the petal while this is still unjoined, so it looks something like this. But yeah, I'm just gonna go down and repeat the same thing. Again, pull it tighter so it looks something like this. I'm gonna remove my stitch marker because it's already pinned in place by doing those few stitches. But yeah, I'm just gonna repeat the same exact thing across this, maybe making another 2 stitches. And as you can see, it is visible, but you wouldn't tell that these are stitches. So I'm happy with it. I'm just gonna check how it holds. Yeah, that seems quite good to me. So I'm just gonna go from the bag to the wrong side of the flower, so like this, and I'm gonna hide the tail the same way I did with the first one. So yeah, make sure it's tight and then hide it in. Again, once you're done, cut your tail off, and then you're gonna repeat the same thing with all 5. And once you do hide all of the tails, this is how it will look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.